Every year, millions of people plan a trip to America's most visited national park, and most of them are quietly wary of the same things. They're imagining bears, falling off a cliff, or getting lost somewhere the trail runs out. And like all good hikers, they pack the bear spray, they charge their devices, and they stay on the path. When we picture death in a national park, we picture the wilderness doing the killing, encountering a grizzly on the trail, a slip at the edge of a canyon, a hiker who walked into the backcountry and never walked out. That's the story the movies tell us. That's the story our fears tell us. And some of it is real. People do fall. People drown. People get lost. But there's another piece to this puzzle. Across nearly 2 decades of national park records, with all of those millions of visitors sharing space with bears, wolves, bison, and snakes, the average number of people killed by wild animals is about 10. 10 park deaths due to animals in 18 years, across the entire national park system. The animals, turns out, are not the threat. Statistically, they barely register. So if it isn't the wildlife, and it isn't the cliffs, then what is it? The answer is sitting in the parking lot. It's the road you drove in on. Great Smoky Mountains National Park, the most visited national park in the United States, with more than 14 million people a year, roughly double the crowds of Yellowstone or the Grand Canyon. And it holds a title almost nobody talks about. It's the deadliest national park in the country for drivers. Over about 15 years, the park recorded around 92 deaths, and the single biggest cause wasn't falling, wasn't drowning, and it wasn't a bear. It was car crashes. More people died in vehicles in the Great Smoky Mountains than from any hiking related cause on its trails. Read that again. In a park famous for its mountains, its waterfalls, and its 600 miles of hiking trails, the deadliest thing you could do is drive through it. So, how does a scenic mountain wilderness end up killing more people with cars than with mountains? Well, four reasons. One, there's just an enormous amount of road. The Smokies are laced with more than 380 miles of roads. That's not a park you occasionally drive through. That's a park where you're almost always driving through. Newfound Gap Road, climbing 5,000 feet through the clouds. The single lane loop around Cades Cove. Every overlook, every trailhead connected by pavement carved into a mountainside. Two, the roads are built to be looked at. These aren't modern highways. Many park roads were deliberately designed to be experienced, not rushed. Narrow, winding, historic, hugging the terrain roads. That's what makes them beautiful, and it's also what makes them dangerous. There's no shoulder to drift onto, no room for mistakes. Three, the scenery is a trap. Think about what you're actually doing on a park road. You're looking for the thing you came to see, a black bear in the meadow, a waterfall through the trees, the view opening up around the next bend. Every reason you drove here is a reason to take your eyes off the road. The distraction isn't a phone in your lap, although that's bad. It's the entire park system outside your window. 4. Everyone's in a hurry through a place built to be slow. Roughly a third of crashes in national parks come down to speed. People treat a scenic mountain road like a commute, tailgating the car ahead that slowed down for an elk, passing on a blind curve, pushing through congestion in a park that sees traffic jams worthy of a city. And when you put it all together, hundreds of miles of narrow, winding road, a distracted driver, 14 million people, and everyone in a rush to get somewhere, that's a traffic accident waiting to happen. Over and over. And here's what makes this bigger than one park in Tennessee. The Smokies aren't the exception. They're just the clearest example of a rule that runs throughout the entire system. Across all national parks, motor vehicle crashes are the leading cause of accidental death. The Park Service puts it plainly. On average, somewhere on a national park road, a visitor dies in a crash about once a week, every week. At Redwood National Park in California, car crashes are the number one killer because Highway 101 runs straight through the giants. In Death Valley, the hottest place on Earth, you'd bet on the heat. But over 10 years, car crashes killed 14 people there, and heat killed 7. The road beat the desert 2 to 1. Blue Ridge Parkway, the Natchez Trace, park after park, the deadliest feature isn't the wildlife or the weather or the drop offs. It's the road to the trailhead. There's an old saying among people who spend their lives outdoors: The most dangerous part of the adventure is the drive to get there. The national parks turn that saying into a statistic. Now, none of this is a reason to avoid national parks. Of the millions of people who drive these roads every year, nearly all of them make it home completely safe. The point isn't fear. The point is knowing where the real risk actually lies, so you can respect it and avoid it. And the fixes are almost embarrassingly simple. Slow down. Speed limits are low on purpose. If you want to look at something, pull all the way over and look. Don't try to drive and sightsee at the same time. Maybe even take a picture. Let the passenger handle the phone, and if you can, visit outside peak season, when the roads aren't packed and the pace comes down on its own. That's it. That's the most protective thing you can do in a national park. Has nothing to do with bears or cliffs or bear spray. It's paying attention to the road. So the next time you plan a trip to the mountains and you're packing for the trail and worrying about the wilderness, remember where the danger really lies. Not on the summit, not in the backcountry, and not in the eyes of some animal in the dark, but on a quiet, beautiful, winding road that carried you in. Thanks for watching. If you like this content and want to see more like it, please like and subscribe as it really helps our growth. Don't forget to check out our other videos down below. Stay wonderful, people.